Good morning. Take two. Had some technical difficulties. I'm gonna share my phone just as a little heads up. I always have people say, "What are you doing on your phone?" What are we listening to, babe?
Well, if they can hear it, it's called The Moses Code by James Twyman. An incredible meditation I use often. The Moses Code is I am that I am. This is Pali Santo. It's clear. We find that whenever we decide on a theme, we get to live it.
That's the truth.
And so we're going to gather here in this space, clearing this space, knowing this space is full of grace no matter what belief, what is happening in your world, what's happening in our world. And this is a yummy topic, shadow dancing.
Good morning, Sherry. Thanks for being with us. Ava, if you're with us too, I just want to let you know we did get your message, and this prayer for there she is. Ava, we got your message, and for any of you who are new to our circle, we are creating a prayer field all together. And so spoken or unspoken prayers, we know that as we collectively just sink into this one heart, one mind that we know that healing, that illumination, that clarity is inevitable because we're declaring it so in this circle. So we're going to take a minute. Hi, Jim. Hi, Laura. Mama Laura. Just to drop into our heart space together.
I find it very, very auspicious that here in California, we just had an amazing storm. And we woke up and were in awe of what they decided to call this storm. And they called it Storm Lucifer. We're like, is this real or is this fake news? And it was real. L was up and Lucifer was the name.
I don't think I've ever heard any mythical creature or archetypal creature or angel or anything else, but just run-of-the-mill names. Amazing.
And it's a big topic of where this can go, and I have no idea where this will go. But we are at a time, we're in a very dark time in our humanity on this planet. A chaotic node of sorts. And, a lot of us are with a lot of inner resistance to powers outside of us, to powers within us that may be uncomfortable. And it's a big dance, I was talking to somebody yesterday about, just give somebody light, just help them get the light. And what a lot of us need to do here in these spiritual circles is get in the dark. Get in the dark. And when I say get in the dark, what comes to my mind right now is going to Dagobah, quote unquote, Dagobah, where Yoda is there, to take the young Jedi, the young Padawan, into the deepest, darkest places of his fear, to face the dragon, to face the Lucifer, the devil, face to face, head on. In my journey, I have delved deep into those places, sometimes being dragged, not being willingly to walk in those, because those places are scary. But, the shadow
yesterday, I think it's from Deepak Chopra, he's been showing up a lot lately for us, is that both light and dark are the path to love. And I think often in our journey we focus so much on bringing more light into the body, which is vital. It's important that we call upon the light, that we meditate on the light, and we know the power that the light has to transform, especially when we get to know the different lights and how specifically they can counteract those things that are going on inside of us. But if we bypass those places where we know where the light needs to marry the darkness, because what we're not trying to do is have the light overpower the darkness. We want to bring them into balance with each other, that we would know ourselves, that we would be able to see what is accurately going on within our own being, so that we can interpret it out here and really bring balance to a situation rather than being caught in either polarity of it.
Speaking of Deepak, in his new book, The Universe is You, I heard him talking about some statistics. You know, and they say that 70% of the universe is dark energy. And 30% of that universe that is not dark energy is within 30% of that, 26% is dark matter. And of that 4% left that's not dark matter, that's not dark energy, of that 4%, 99.99% of it is space dust. It's like this nebula. And so like 0.01% of the visible universe is form, is seen, is I mean that, and you are the universe. So there's so much a part of us individually that is unseen, that is dark energy, that is dark matter, dark mother. It is the place within us, and we're afraid to go there.
Yeah.
We're afraid to see it in the other, and we're afraid to be swallowed up in it by the other. And it's an amazing dance. And so in the journey of love, of self-love, which is the greatest love, is where are you afraid to look in the dark? You know, and not let the dark drive you, but not let just the light drive you.
Peace, yeah.
You know, Heather and I talk about a lot. We're here on the middle path. You know, you see that middle path of the yin-yang, that middle road right there. That's where we do our best to dance that dance.
You know, with the energy that is being blessed, there's these extreme moments of feeling lifted and carried to another experience of grace and love. But at the same time, it's requiring us to go deeper into the subtleties of our own shadow, because these pockets of resistance, they require us to go in. And I was realizing the other day, I just had another layer of realizing how much I have patriarchy still going in my own mental field. You know, we both come from this background of Christianity, and I felt this need to ask for forgiveness on a deeper level, where I haven't honored the feminine side of life, the feminine side of my own being, which is the darkness. And so I feel like the divine feminine energy in all of us is calling us deeper into the cave, and she, the wisdom, the Sophia energy, is saying, come kids, I have more to tell you, I have more to show you. And there's so much gold there, and I don't want you to be afraid, because the more willing you are to go into those places, I can show you where your shadow becomes your victory. But you're not going to know it by trying to figure it out in this outside world. There's no more knowledge, no more information. She's inviting us. When I say she, it's that she essence, that feminine, is inviting us to know her within ourselves on a deeper level, that's what shifts.
I share with you, there's a beautiful matriarch in our life among many. We have many and amazing mothers in our life. And Barbara Wilder, if you don't know who that is, look her up, Barbara Wilder. She invited us and she gifted us a meditation. And she does these amazing light meditations. You can go into the upper chambers, above, just above there, this area above your upper room, and your star comes in this amazing light, and you just envelop this light. It goes through your chakra system, right? Your light. But she invited us to go into the cave, 6 feet below, in this cave of this beautiful, dark, really dark purple, not empty.
Is it the ultraviolet?
The ultraviolet light in this space, in this cave, in this space, and it felt so good. And it's so important that we balance this. Because we spend a lot of our time and energy resisting and projecting upon the trumps of our life, And we're at a time in human history where it's time to integrate more than ever. And, I'll share with you a personal story when, coming from the Christian background, we were taught, we were programmed to shun the devil. The devil's speaking, the devil's out there, and it's not safe out there in the world, and you got to sit there. And I cut off all music, and I didn't go to dances, and I broke up with my girlfriend, and I moved out of homes, and I pushed everything of life that was not safe away from me, so I could be secluded in this little shell. It's not safe in this world. This world outside of this world is not God, it's the devil. So this programming is involved in a lot of us. And I was at to fast forward, my mother lives in the city of San Miguel, the city of the mission of Archangel Michael. And I have such an intimate relationship, and have for most of my life, with this Michael's, My father's name is Michael, my middle name is Michael. I've always just resonated with Michael. We've seen this ancient picture, and I'll bring it. Oh, the candle's not here. Darn.
Sorry.
My baby cleaned up our altar. There's this angel picture. We've seen it. It's Michael at the throat, conquering Lucifer, right? We've seen this picture over and over and over again. We've seen the conquest of the devil underneath Michael. He's coming in to conquer the fallen ones, right? And I saw this beautiful statue in this mission of Archangel Michael. And like a lightning bolt straight through, just boom. I'm like, oh my gosh. I am that. I am. I am that. I am.
Meaning?
I am Lucifer. I am Michael. These beautiful brothers, the morning star, are one. This is huge. It is huge, and it is a big deal for us in humanity. That we're no longer shunning that disowned part of ourselves. Years ago I had a dream where I was gifted the Lucifer child, and the prodigal comes home, the innocence, the return to innocence, the return to that little child that's screaming angry, This is like my heart song for us and what we do in this relationship, because the shadow gets reflected here more than anything. But it is time to come into wholeness and own all parts of ourselves.
Something I think probably a lot of us resonate with is that we have come out of one breed of religion outside of being more open to spirit, say if it's Christianity or Islam or whatever. We come out of something that's more traditional and is taken more literally. And as we move into a greater understanding of our own life, these lessons are often brought to us by way of archetypes. And so as we've been doing this deeper shadow dance, the Jesus and the Lucifer and the Adam and Eve and Lilith and all of these archetypes that we resonate with are all being merged into this place where we can see our shadow. We can see not just the ways that our shadow causes problem in our lives. I know for me, being in the traditional realm of Christianity, like Jason said, it's always resist, resist, resist. And the more that you resist, the more you cut yourself off. There is a burst or an explosion that will happen at some point, because you can only resist and suppress yourself for so long. So it starts showing up as addictions, and that's what it did for me. Looking for love and soothing and approval in ways that were unhealthy. But I was so cut off from myself, not understanding why am I having these problems? What is this about? What is this addiction about? And so in this shadow dancing, what we want to share from our own experience is that being willing to sit in the uncomfortability of whatever is coming up is the way to bring balance to it, to know that you are a being of both light and dark, and that truly both paths, the light and the dark path, are always leading us to love. Always.
It's a paradox.
It is.
It's a paradox.
Truly.
I'd love to read something to you. An amazing book. It's probably backwards here, but it's called Owning Your Own Shadow. Understanding the dark side of the psyche. Now, we have many beings who are with us today. We see Georgina, Aaron, Michelle's
Dudley.
here, Dudley's here.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you have probably dug deep. But Carl Jung, he's an amazing psychologist that has influenced our life. And you go in and there's so much gold. They always say the gold lies in the shadow, the disowned parts of yourself. And there's this book that was brought back into our awareness, and I'd love to read this to you, this part called The Paradox of Love and Power. Probably the most troublesome pair of opposites to reconcile is love and power. And when I think about that, I have this image in my head that's been really staying with me. It's the devil and Jesus, and it looks like they're arm wrestling. Maybe you've seen it as a meme on Facebook, where it's like, we're going forward. It's the battle between light and dark. Here we are, this age-old. How long have we been doing this war? Love, here's Jesus, and power. The most troublesome pair of opposites to reconcile is love and power. Our modern world is torn to shreds by this dichotomy, and one finds many more failures than successes in the attempt to reconcile them. It is not possible to live a human life without both of these elements. Power without love becomes brutal. Love without power is insipid and weak. Yet when two people get close to each other, there's generally an explosion in their lives.
We know nothing about this.
Most of the recrimination between quarreling lovers or spouses involves the collision of power and love. To give each its due and endure the paradoxical tension is the noblest of all tasks. It is only too easy to embrace one at the expense of the other. But this precludes the synthesis that is the only real answer. Failure invites a breaking apart, divorce, disunion, quarrel. A true paradox makes for a strong devotion and a mystical union powerful enough to endure the problems. Fanaticism is always a sign that one has adopted one of a pair of opposites at the expense of the other. The high energy of fanaticism is a frantic effort to keep one half of the truth at bay while the other half takes control. This always yields a brittle and unrelatable personality. This kind of righteousness depends on being right. We may want to hear what the other is saying, but be afraid when the balance of power starts to shift. The old equation is collapsing, and you're ensured that you will lose yourself if you give in. And how the ego works to keep the status quo, right? Right?
We fight for the rightness.
And how the ego works to keep the status quo. In this event, one must put some faith in transcendence and have the courage to sacrifice a point of view for the sake of the relationship. Le guerre, the heart of the religious experience, is to bond, repair, draw together, to make whole, to find that which is anterior to the split condition. Our future lies in this religious vision. I'll say that again. Le guerre, spelled Ligare. It's the heart of the religious experience. And when we say even religious experience, it's the spiritual experience. That's satori, that enlightenment, that realization.
Transcend, yeah.
You know? It's the heart of it. It's to bond. It's to repair. It's to draw together. To make whole. To find that which is anterior to the split condition. To bring him home. Bring him home. Bring them home. Bring the prodigals home. Bring the prodigal within yourself. What we see out there is what's happening in here. The war of the sexes, the war of Christianity versus Muslim, the war of the Republicans versus the Democrats, the war of dark versus light, the war of the Draconians versus the Galactic Federation, the war. It's like, how far can you go from the ripple of the center point? It continues. But la guerre, we bring this place of wholeness.
I think one of the greatest tools that we have, we've been using it a lot lately, is the Ho'oponopono. It's never worth being right, really. It's one of the biggest ways that we can transcend a moment is to calm the waters within ourselves, right, wrong, or indifferent, and take full responsibility. And from there, we are gifted a higher viewpoint of how to respond. And there's a verse in Proverbs that keeps coming back to my mind, but it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath. It doesn't mean to give over your power or to be swallowed up in the control of another being. What it means is that you're willing to hold the argument and allow the silence to speak for both so that you can move to higher ground. And what I see for both of us is that we are by no means perfect in this, but as we practice it, I see this flowering of a little bit better each time, and the quarrel is a little bit shorter each time, because when we have a situation that comes up over and over and over again, and one has just come up this morning for us, where we look at it head on and go, okay, what's the gateway out here? How do we just let go of this so that love can come in and do what it needs to, so that we can flip this even more?
The dying to self. Dying for the need to be right. You know, it's this battle of love and power. You know, but I woke up with a dream last week, I think it was, and the word sepulcher came in. And Christ, these words, it was associated with that. And the sepulcher is, if you don't know, it's the tomb. You know, that they were usually in a rock, that was the tomb, the sepulcher. And the ancient ones, you know, going back to Egypt, they would lie in the sepulcher. It was a holy place. It's a very sacred place, the sepulcher, the tomb. You know, and
for 72 hours, right?
Yeah. But that place where we need to die to the war of the love and power. But it happens in relationship. It happens in union. And, you know, this is definitely, we've been doing this Karma to Dharma workshop. It's been just amazing. Been rearranging us, and calling us to, you know, we teach what we need to learn. And it's been a joy. And we do this in union.
I think with it, we've had a whole new layer. I know for me, I've had a whole new layer of showing me where my distrust lies. And it's not just in the masculine and feminine, but sometimes it's in the sister relationships. Sometimes it's in the brother relationships, how we look at each other. And because of the disowned parts of ourselves, we fear the other. We fear that the other is going to take something away from us. And I've really been facing some of those shadows in my own being, where I have feared my sisters. I have feared that love could be swallowed up by another. And what we know, what we experience, is that the more we face those places, those dark places within ourselves, and are willing to love them back into wholeness, the lenses that we're able to see others through becomes more and more just consumed by love and compassion and grace. And that's the experience now that we draw into ourselves, because we can't give anyone else what we're not receiving internally ourselves. So going to that well within, going into that cave where there is living water, we can then pour it out because we've received it ourselves.
We had a dear brother of ours, Gabriel Cavazos, who we're doing some great work with the Akasha and Arcatu team.
Akasha Blue Care.
Akasha Blue Care, which we're going into really holistic health and bringing health. You may have tuned in, we did a prayer for Nathan Scott. But he said something this week, he said, gravity is love. And I was like, wow. Gravity is love. And what's happening is that we are in a gravitational field. We're in this galaxy. We're in the solar system, right? And the galaxy is moving its gravitational intelligent design. And it's moving us. And we're in this chaotic node. We're in this node of a sacred geometric form. And gravity's pulling us into a rebirth. It's pulling us into a new species, really.
Gravity is love.
Barbara Marx Hubbard talks about Homo Universalis. We are emerging. We are, Aaron says, I've had visions of Kiva, rebirths. In meditation yesterday at the Global Truth Center, I talked about rebirth and renewal. The rainbows and the butterflies are symbols of rebirth and renewal. And we are in a time of rebirth and renewal. It's the la guerre. We've got to come into our wholeness and not disassociate a whole part of ourselves and not project it upon the other to the level that you're causing division and separation from the other. There is no other. There is no other. I am you. You are me. We are we.
What a gift, right? Out from the dark, the beautiful dark, into the light of my soul, stepped into the rain, the glorious rain, washing me clean, releasing the pain,
let it go.
Closing my eyes, I feel the legions all around.
Here they come now, here they come now.
Caught up in the silence now. I forgot the words. Creation sound.
You were there sending love. Your never-ending love came in to lift me up to heights I've never known. You are surrounding me, lifting the veil so I can see. Safe now in my reality. Your never-ending love for me.
Out from the dark, the beautiful
Dark
into the light,
into the light.
light of my soul,
unknown. You are surrounding me, lifting the veil so I can see. Safe now in my reality. Your never-ending love. Your never-ending love. Your never-ending love for me.
Your never-ending love for me.
For you. For we.
Songs always bring us to a new place. Love you.
It's good to sing. You know, in these days that we're in, everybody, it is time to come to our center, your center, from your center point, and drop from your mind, your head mind, into your heart mind. Where in the heart mind is the most intelligent force. And you're not going to be able to make sense with your mental mind of what is happening. But we know love is having its way through us, as us, around us, and we stay in that center point. You know, we read something, I got this incredible book, and it talked about the three things of will, strength, and knowledge. It's important to have these three things, but you can't have too much, you know, if you're out there just gathering all the Gnosticism and the spiritual knowledge, but you're still questioning yourself, you're questioning love, you're distrustful, you know, it doesn't matter.
You know, yeah, this is a biggie for us. There's so much to gather. You know, sometimes this path of synchronicity and watching life just kind of magnetize itself to you, what you need to know, which is all good and it's all important. But sometimes that can become a substitute for literally just going in that cave, that beautiful mama cave, where she wants to give you Sophia, the direct knowing, the direct experience of her love and her grace and her compassion, so that you can be so saturated in it that you can't help but emanate it and demonstrate it in every area of your life. And so that's our job, is to go quiet like never, never, never before, and allow her love to speak so intimately, so preciously, that we become the vessels of the living water that is just pouring out to everything we see, every relationship we have.
Aloha, Gustavo. I'll be giving you a call later today or tomorrow.
Love you.
You know, gravity, we're going back to gravity. As you were speaking, gravity is pulling us into the womb of Mother.
The core, the beautiful
back
crystal
into
core of our
the core, the womb. Yes. Where, you know, now you can go with the flow into the womb and dive, or you can go pull into the womb.
It's so dark.
Keep going.
So
I just want to hang on to my stuff.
Let me do it.
I want to hang on to my BS, my belief systems that are not really serving you.
Oh.
Come, let the waters rush you to the womb of Mother. Let the gravity pull you into the womb of rebirth, because that's where we're going. The ascension's happening. This thing called the ascension, it's happening. We're listening to David Wilcock right now, and he's talking about preparing. And this is we're going, you know, we try to stay on the bus. Keep everybody on the bus. But
we won't go too deep.
But we are in, you know, it's going to happen in a blink of an eye, you know. And so let us surrender to love. Let us embrace all of ourselves, our inner Lilith, our inner Lucifer. You know, let's not disown and shame and guilt and put Lucifer in a place called hell. You know, that part of you. Hell is not a place you're going, everybody. We all know that. I think everybody here is really in agreement with that.
Labyrinth of my mind.
It's here, you know, when you're in resistance and division and separation, now you're in hell.
It's so funny, I just, what you're saying, I think of the jungle, being in the jungle, how the ascension, our raising and becoming lighter and lighter is completely dependent upon us going into the dark. We have to descend. We have to descend, and that's where our little child is too. This place in us that is in resistance, the place where for all the growing up years and all of our unique experiences that made us fearful, feeling like we're going to be abandoned or not seen or overlooked, it's in that place. It's in that core place. And so, you know, I think of all these meditations that we do where we're calling upon the light and we're bringing the light in, and then we go down into the core. We go into the crystallized core of our being, where the light is shining upon the crystal. And we are illuminated from the inside out with this rainbow, diamond, incredible light. And it just shines out. It shines forth. It shines into each other's faces. And we are transformed by the renewing of our minds. Love you guys.
Take a breath on that. You know, Mama Laura, who's here with us, thank you. Thank all of you. I mean, we are a we. We are a mighty we. You know, I know, and Heather and I think we're in agreement on this. We are who we are. First and foremost, because of decisions we've made within here. But what happens in here reflects out here. And the reflections that we have in, like you, Brother Gustavo, in Laura, in Maria Nessa, and many that are with us right now, you know, that we are you. You are us, you know, and thank you for being along this journey. Thank you for being the mirrors of beautiful reflections that you are in all aspects.
Yes,
you know?
love tribe.
But have faith in love. Have faith in love. Choose love. You know, when we were in the jungles, there was a song that Heather sang. It was a third night of ceremony. When we talk about ceremony, we were talking about ayahuasca, right? And when we were in that third night, and it's a plant medicine that is designed, it's light really going into your dark pockets within your subconscious places, right? Goes into the deep places. And when I was in there, I had the most horrendous third night where I was suffering internally. I was just like, why can't I couldn't purge. I couldn't let it go. Like, why won't I let it go? You know? And I tried and it just wouldn't let go. And I was just in suffering. The major message that we hang on to suffering, we hang on to our war, and we hang on to our stories. You know, we hang on to our pride, our being right, whatever that is for you. But that's causing you suffering. And Heather sang this song in Peru, and that's when I knew I was going to marry her. And even speaking about it, I can feel a little nauseous, you know, because there's this place where we hold on to our suffering. But it's that surrender to love, and I would love to sing that song right now, because this is it. This is the thing. Let's all surrender to love. And the paradox is, it's all that. Thank you for being here this morning with us.
I surrender to love. I surrender to life. I live from the truth of who I am. I surrender to love. I surrender to life. I live from the truth of who I am. One love. I surrender to life. I live from the truth of who I am. We surrender to love. We surrender to life. We live from the truth of who we are. 'Cause we are light. We are love. We are joy. We are strength. We are power. We are wisdom. And when we remember who we are, we can love each other unconditionally. You are light. You are love. You are peace. And you'll find all these things in the dark, the beautiful dark.
See the glimmers, the gold glimmers in the walls of the cave of your heart, of your mind. There's gold, there's gems, there's beauty in there. There's empowerment, there's strength for you in these parts of ourselves. And I just pray that the guerre takes place within us, that we come into wholeness, that we come back into full integration. As each one of us comes home to the throne within, the king and the queen return home. We are, as the prodigal comes and says to his father, I will just be a slave in your home. I'm here in service to love. I'm in service to grace. It's gonna get really good, you guys, as we walk this middle path. As we walk this path, knowing that I am that I am. 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 I am all of that. That's the Moses Code. That was the song we were listening to earlier. Great movie by James Twyman. You know, and that we heard a song, Jennifer Johns at Agape this Sunday.
So powerful.
She brought it from Africa. I believe South Africa or Africa, but it's this amazing chant from the motherland, right? And it was known as a resistance song, you know? And there's a lot going on right now where we're resisting the powers. We don't want to be swallowed up into a dark power. But there, instead of resistance, I loved how she rephrased it, and I'll share it with you. It was insistence. An insistence on love.
Yes.
An insistence on wholeness. An insistence on oneness. An insistence that we integrate, we come back to one. And like I said, we're going back to one.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. You can go willingly, or you can go in resistance. You know, and this isn't to say those things such as Pizzagate, those things such as
this administration.
You know, this administration, what's going on against, you know, the atrocities or the hypocrisy of what's going on against the land. But what we're here to say is we're building new wineskins.
Yes.
We are the new wine. We're not going to spend any energy resisting evil as Jesus the Christ taught us. We're going to focus on building the new. You know, we're coming into full integration now. And there is a lovevolution happening. There is a spiritual revolution happening. It's non-stoppable. It's already done. You know, and so let's dance, let's sing, let's love. Let's do that more and more. You know.
Let's calm the waters of our own being. Yeah. Thank you, unity. That reminder constantly, because, you know, Jason just said this insistence. I love that. It's so powerful because Mother Teresa said, don't tell me what you're against. Is it Mother Teresa?
Right. She was invited to go on a protest, and she says, don't tell me what you're against.
Tell me what you're for.
And I'll come join you.
And we're for love. And we're for uncovering more love within our own being so that we can just carry the love to all places that we're all called to be. We all have a pivotal role in this new earth.
And so here in this now moment, I say it to all of you, you know, and those of you that are conspirers and are co-creators, our inspirators. I think of you, Mama Laura of One Global Family. You, Gabriel Cavazos of ARC2. Specifically you two right now, just thank you for holding Heather and I in the heart, in the space, in the way you call us to be a greater expression. And I invite all of you to invite elders, invite, powerful, grounded, sacred activists in your life.
Mentors, yeah.
It will change your life. We all need mentorship. We all need wisdom keepers. And listen to those wisdom keepers.
If any of you need prayer support, please message us. Jason and I are doing coaching. If you are interested and feel like you would benefit from time with either one of us or together as a couple, we are excited to be doing that along with our program, Karma to Dharma. Our website is oneloveandgratitude.com, O-N-E and gratitude.com. And we are grateful to be walking this journey of love with you, alongside of each other, witnessing this growth, witnessing the letting go, the rebirthing in each other. It's an honor, truly.
I have this little bookmark that's in my books, Owning Your Own Shadow, and it's backwards, but it says, surrender to God. And on the back of it, it says, suffering is nothing but resistance to God. The more you resist, the more you suffer. It is simple. Once you surrender to God, which is to love, there is no struggle. There is no resistance. There is no suffering. And so, surrender to the love, to the God that you are. Own your power. Own yourself. You are much more than you even know yourself to be. And please stay tuned. Stay in touch.
Love you.
We love you so much. Namaste.